welcome to the 10th episode of IT Untapped.
Woo!
We are here, double digits, almost
Yes.
a year.
Almost, This is month number 10.
Yes, two
Cool.
more episodes. And we already hinted about it last episode. We have a special beer today.
Oh yeah, indeed, we did.
Yes.
We've been waiting a month for this beer.
Waiting.
Well, you more than I did because
Like-
it was at your place.
Yes, I had. I bought them. I had 4 of them, and then I had someone come over, and I bought 4 more. And since then, so in the last week, I had 2 people drinking the beer in front of my face, and I had the composure to say no, because I need to keep an open mind for the podcast. I need to go in straight. I got their feedback, but I want to drink it first hand, first reaction.
What a character, what a determination.
Everything for the podcast.
What was the feedback you
No,
received from
I'll
your friends?
say that after.
After, okay.
Don't want to manipulate.
Yeah.
I already found it a little bit hard to say, like, okay, what did you think of it?
Okay, let's just get to it. We've been waiting so long.
I
I'll
wanted
just-
to go into the technical topic, but you can open it up. I will also say which tag we are going to discuss today. So today I will be the, not the technical guy in the conversation, because I don't know a lot about this topic. But we're going to have it, we're going to talk about software development life cycle or software security. Now I'm using both. He said you can use one of the two.
You can use one of the two and you pick both of them. Nice one.
So that's
Yeah.
the technical topic. We're gonna talk about how to develop software and how to do that in a secure way.
That is the perfect summary of what it is.
Let's see, maybe I'm not that of a noob.
I'm
And
very
then
sure
we will
not.
talk about the beer. So we're having a beer from Duvel. It's one of the staple breweries of Belgium, founded in 1871.
1871.
Yes,
Oh, cool.
Duvel
Okay.
Moordgat brewery in Belgium. Most famous beer is there, Duvel. The angel and devil symbolism is definitely there. Strong beer, I think the regular one is 9%. And we are having their Brewmaster Selection Imperial Blond today. Brewmaster Selection, a special program from the brewery Duvel. It's more their experimental program, so every year they do a release like the Brewmaster Selection, and that's where they kind of experiment more, like do some nice things with fermentation, with flavors, always starting from the original recipe of Duvel. So
Cool.
very, very curious about this. So let's get to pouring.
Can
and
we
tasting.
taste it already? Yes.
And of course, with a Duvel glass, with a Duvel beer, you also need the Duvel glass. As with a lot of Belgian beers, for the non-Belgium listeners, there is always a glass with the beer.
Of course. It's merchandise.
Merchandise, but also helps with the taste, apparently.
It does. And there is apparently a special way of pouring a Duvel into the glass.
Yes, and I think you did a better job than I did with the foam.
Well, I cheated because it was indicated on my glass how I should hold it, but it's 45-degree angle, and then you have the perfect Duvel. Cheers.
Cheers. Let's give it a taste.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is, well, the obvious Duvel taste, but it feels a lot more smooth than the
Yes.
normal Duvel.
Like more smooth, more refined. If like the this if the Duvel is the Duvel, like the devil, then this might be his refined cousin. Let's say the angel.
The angel, yeah.
So a little bit more smooth, more refined, less bitter. Still a little bit bitter aftertaste, but not as
not so
present.
much as the normal one, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, but a stronger beer than the normal one.
Yes.
This one is
yes.
10%
This
alcohol.
one is 10% indeed.
So don't drink 3 of them after each other in a short period of time, because you will fall to the ground.
So the notes of the brewery itself, more royal, round and robust, 10% alcohol, and soft taste with round barley flavor.
I almost forgot to untap this one, but since it is a limited edition from this year, I haven't untapped it yet.
Yeah, I actually have some good memories at Duvel. I visited the brewery a couple years ago. Got some nice glasses from it. And it's actually one of the, or as far as I know, the first brewery that does not have a clerical affiliation. So most brewery in Belgium, they started from like a monastery, brewing the more heavy beers, and this is the first one that has no religious affiliation, hence the name Duvel.
Yeah.
So
nice one.
Yeah.
And this might be the best beer we've had so far on the podcast.
Wow, that's putting some praises out there.
That is indeed, but I'm not sure what rating I will give. 3.75, 4, maybe 4.25.
So Moordgat, we will send you an email next year. You won up this for Pieter.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, because limited edition, that means that they don't make this beer anymore?
Well, as far as I know from the Brewmaster edition, or the Brewmaster selection rather, they make this for a year. So you can...
we can drink it for a whole year?
You can buy it in the regular store. It's not like a limited edition or limited edition in that sense.
Okay.
But next year they will do a new Brewmaster selection and they will have another one. But I know one that got that they put in regular rotation. So it's a regular beer now at Duvel as well.
Which one was it?
Now you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah, because I'm not sure, but could it be like the 666 or something? Because I know that was a special one when it came out, but I'm not sure whether it comes from the Brewmaster selection.
It's the triple hop, I think.
That sounds like the 666, but now
no, it's
Belgian
not.
People will kill me again for saying this.
You have the
with the green D.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the only one from the Brewmaster selection so far, but maybe the 666 was also Brewmaster selection. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, but I know 1 year it was like a special Duvel, and since then it's always been there, so I just thought or assumed maybe that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And there has been some stuff that I'm
Cool.
a big fan of the brewery.
Moordgat.
Yes, Duvel, I enjoy it.
I remember in my younger years I was never a big fan of Duvel. I preferred La Chouffe always. But then after a few drunken nights, let's say, I got bored with the taste of La Chouffe, and then suddenly Duvel came walking in shiny.
It's the same brewery.
Is it?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, they're doing a great job.
It's the same management. I don't know if it's always been the same brewery. No, I have some really funny stories about Duvel. Do we want to get into tech first and then maybe do the funny Duvel stories?
Maybe do the tech first for a second,
let's
because now we've been rambling on about beers for how many minutes? Almost 10?
So we will, I promise I have some funny Duvel stories. I
will try to remember you to it, but this 10% might be getting in the way of it.
And then we will create some other funny Duvel stories.
Yeah, indeed. Who knows? All right, so you already mentioned the high level thing we're about to discuss, software development lifecycle. What do you think when you hear this term?
Well, if we can break it down, right? It's 3 words. So software, what is software? It's an application on your computer.
Yes, indeed.
Development, well, it needs to be created. There is some code behind it. Depending on what it is, will be code. And life cycle, life cycle is life cycle. Like you have a start date, you have an end date, but you also have continuous improvement in that cycle.
Continuous improvement, that's a word that will come back today. Awesome.
So you will go and reiterate your software, and that's where you get the versioning. Like you have some software where like it's version 1, version 2.
Indeed.
And between that, there is the development life cycle of that version.
Okay, so one thing that I wanna say as well is the difference between hardware and software, as they taught me back in college or high school, I think it was. Hardware is everything you can touch. Your computer, your motherboard, your memory sticks, your USB sticks, everything you can physically touch is hardware. Mm-hmm. Software is everything running on it. You cannot touch it. It runs on your hardware. So your operating system is software. Your kernel is software. I hope I'm not lying here. Yes. Applications you run in Windows, like your browsers, like the software we're using to record this podcast with, it's all software. It's all being developed, new features, capabilities coming out. That's your development lifecycle.
And you could say we got screwed by the development lifecycle of
Windows. Indeed.
Just at the start of this podcast. Because we were about to record and our audio was not working and we were like, what is this? And then we saw there is a Windows update, so we needed to wait for Windows updates to get the audio driver working.
And what did we do to fix it?
Restart it.
We rebooted it. The famous "did you turn it off and on again" worked.
Exactly.
Kind of.
Shh, don't give out IT secrets. We want to be, otherwise we will be without a job.
Indeed. So software development lifecycle, why is it an important thing? Well, first of all, we always want our software to be better, to be faster, to be more performant, to be more secure. And security here is a very essential part of it. I think it was last episode we spoke a lot about CVEs.
Exactly.
This is also where software development lifecycle comes into play. A CVE gets found in a software, a way to exploit a vulnerability in there, to abuse the software, to do stuff it's not supposed to do. And then the developers of the software need to patch the vulnerability. And with patching, they need to rewrite some lines of code, push the software back into the wild and make users update the software. This is already a very good example.
Mm-hmm. Are there different types of patching? Because you are saying like, it's an update.
Actually there is like, now we're already getting into details, but who cares, huh? Like for example, with the Log4j vulnerability that we all know, we all were impacted with this one because it was very apparent everywhere. It was actually part of a very interesting supply chain attack. Well, supply chain vulnerability, let's say. And the way that the developers patched it was really to eliminate the vulnerable code in the library, but because it was a dependency in a whole lot of softwares that are out there, not every vendor and not every company was able to patch it immediately. So a workaround was to just delete the vulnerable library if you were not using it. And that way your code will never reach the vulnerable lines and the vulnerability will never be able to get exploited. Mm-hmm. But so a workaround is one way to patch your softwares. Okay,
so how does it work that you write a software, or how do I say this properly? Like you have a software where you say like, if you delete the library, so basically you're deleting a piece of your code. How does it still work?
This is that's a good question. So you write your software code, and what most of the programmers do nowadays is they import pieces of other code, dependencies, to build their code on. Like, for example, in the log4j vulnerability, it was in a Java class library that is writing logs away. So your log management in an application, which is also very important. You want to know what your software is doing so you can troubleshoot and find solutions to problems that arise out in the wild. But this logging class in Java was vulnerable to the log4j vulnerability. So what you could do, for example, is find another library that is doing the same thing, but not using the vulnerable code.
So to give a more explanation, Java is a programming language. And logging is basically you log every action or some of the actions. It depends. You have different levels of logging as well, which is also important if you want to know something. The most basic logging is action logging. So, for example, if I would log myself, it's like today I woke up at this time. I started work at this time. I had lunch at this time. I stopped work at this time. Then I got into my car and drove here for the podcast at this time. I arrived at your place at this time. We started the podcast late. Why? Oh, there was an error because we...
Voilà. And if this error would be in the log files, we can later troubleshoot what went wrong and make sure it never happens before again.
So Pieter needs to update his computer.
But yeah, the way you explain it is very nice. It's like keeping a journal of everything that is happening within your application.
Yeah, you have different levels in that. Like sometimes you don't need to know that what is some trivial information in a day of a person. Wow. How many times you went to the toilet? I mean,
for example, yes. Well, that might be interesting. Huh?
Depends on what you want to troubleshoot.
Yes, indeed.
If you want to troubleshoot, like, how's my bowel movement today, then you want that information. But maybe in a regular day when you just want to know, like, hey, what I'm doing today, like, did I go to work? Yes, no. Did I do the things that I set out to do today? And your bowel movement doesn't have any seeing in that. But when you are sick and your doctor says, like, hey, you need to track this, you make a special note. So you need to do logging one level deeper, maybe literally one level deeper.
Yeah, but yeah, you're very right. This is in applications typically you can set the verbosity level on your logs, so you can set it to debug, and then it literally spits everything into a log file, everything that is happening. But if you only want the critical events, you will get a high-level overview of all stuff that went wrong. But like the informational or the low critical events, they will not get put into the log file, also to save space on your hard disk, for example.
Yeah, one of the best ways to try this out or see this for yourself is if you have a Windows computer, like, just open Event Viewer. There are some log files in there from your OS, like from your Windows, and it shows you like what is happening, and you will see like there is a lot of things going in there that you as a daily user don't notice. But if something goes wrong, we can go in from IT on the background and maybe get some information out of there.
This is actually one of the first things that I learned when I was working on a service desk myself, to leverage the event viewer to check what is actually wrong on the system. Because the error message that the user got and that he tells me what is wrong with his computer usually lies. Why does it lie? Because the developer wrote the log file himself. But this is not the real error that is happening. You, as a service desker or as an IT person who needs to fix issues on computers, you want to know what's really happening on the computer.
Yeah, but Event Viewer is not foolproof either. Because I have at Event Viewer logs where it went like, something went wrong.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, I know that much, but what is something,
True. True. But actually, I already mentioned a lot of stuff we will touch upon in my Log4j example. For example,
Alright, go for it.
dependencies. We
Yes.
need to check a lot on dependencies nowadays, because this is where in now the year 2025 a lot of attackers are focusing on is the supply chain of software development. They are looking for libraries that are open source, maintained by one person on GitHub, and are actually used in a lot of big vendors and lots of products worldwide. Log4j was one example. The other example that I really wanted to touch upon here is the XZ library, the compression library used in the SSL framework to encrypt, decrypt, and compress your traffic on the wire. It was maintained by, I don't remember his name anymore, but it was one person. And then I think it was a threat actor from Russia, spent 1 year familiarizing himself with this person, being a co-author on this project. And the day that he got author permissions on this repository on GitHub, he slowly but steadily started to create his backdoor in this software. And because it is used all over the world, if this would have gotten through, the world would have been hacked. And I think we spoke about this occurrence on the podcast. I think one of the first 4 episodes, maybe.
I don't know if we spoke about it on the podcast, but you definitely mentioned it to me.
It was a big thing.
Yeah, and if we talk about dependencies, how you can see that is like, for example, your car, you can drive a, Audi, but your headlights will be manufactured by a different company. Like your brake, all the parts of your car will be manufactured by a different company. But when you put them together, it will be an Audi. And it's the same thing with software. Like no one is gonna create his own piece of code for things that already exist. Like these libraries that Pieter is talking about is exactly what it is. It's a library, like information books of code that is already created, and you can then like if you have that a book, you have a dictionary, English dictionary, and your code needs to know what beer is. And then it will go into the library book, see, like, this is the net definition of beer. This is what we need to do to accomplish beer. And it will use that in your software to do bigger things.
It's something the software developers are now, promoting a lot.
Are software developers lazy?
Yeah, they are, because they don't want to recreate code. But let's be honest, if you have ever written a script or a small piece of code, you always start with import this, or because this is Python syntax, but I'm sure another
import module if you do PowerShell.
Yeah, voila, and you always import someone other's piece of code to make your life easier. I am not gonna rewrite the way that Python is outputting stuff in the terminal. I'm just using the print statement.
How do you feel about these libraries? Or the example you gave about the guy getting co-authorship is GitHub. GitHub is like a place where a lot of code gets stored. A lot of libraries that Pieter already mentioned are being developed there. How do you feel about the fact of library signing? Like, for example, for PowerShell that we just mentioned, Microsoft has its own platform and the pieces on there are like reviewed and signed.
I think that's a very basic thing to do. And I think at some point, if you are a mature enterprise, developing code yourself, it's something that you want to mandate from your developers. Code that you import in your libraries that we are reusing needs to be signed, and the author needs to be known, and you want to be sure even that this piece of code is being scanned by GitHub or by some other third party that is doing static code analysis. And now we're touching upon one thing that we want to mention. I'm gonna mute my notifications on my laptop because, wow,
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You get an intern for 1 year, for a couple of months, and then you keep them with them for the rest of your life. Huh?
It's crazy. Yeah. So static code analysis. Well, what it is basically, it's just some engine, some tool, a software that is running over all the lines of code you've written, and it's doing some static code analysis, finding vulnerabilities in the code you have written. And it can do this by rules that we have implemented in those engines. For one thing, and this is very basic, it can check for SQL injection, and it can check for cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, but like the low-hanging fruit. For example, do you have an SQL statement in your backend that is accepting direct input from the user from the front end without sanitization?
Okay, to explain the SQL injection, it's basically a search you do on a database, and a database is a big table of data.
Think of a very big Excel file with multiple sheets and everything in one big file.
How do you make that into a real life example? Like you have a library with a lot of books where you go.
That's a perfect example. And then you have a web application where you as an end user, you can input just the name of a book. And this one, your book, when you press search, it will go to the backend of the application. It will build the SQL query, search where book name is, and then the name the user inputted in table, and then the name of the table.
But let's say that that application also, outside of having just the books in there, it also has some user data in there.
Well, for sure you will
or some financial data. And what you do with an SQL injection is that you actually search that database. So not just the table, because the table is one part, but you can search the entire database. So you have a database and then you have a table, and the table is the inventory of books, but you can have a table in there that is also like which users that access the system. And then with your SQL injection, because an SQL injection or an SQL statement is always on the entire database, because you select your table in that statement, you can tag on a piece of SQL code with an SQL injection that will show you, instead of I want to know if they have Harry Potter, I want to know the users that access this system. And then it, instead of showing you the information for the Harry Potter book on the website, it might show you all the users and their passwords for the system.
Yeah.
That's an SQL injection. And then cross-site scripting, I'm going to pass it to you because
this one you're going to pass on to me, huh?
I got the easy one.
I think cross-site scripting, wow, this was a brain fart. Cross-site scripting is where you inject JavaScript script code into the website, which is then being executed upon browsing to the website. That's the most basic and easiest explanation, I think, for myself I can give. What is JavaScript on a website? It's a way of creating a dynamic piece of the website. It can run some code client side, so in the browser that you as an end user browsing to the website can see, and it will happen on your screen directly. This is JavaScript code running. If you have a cross-site scripting vulnerability, I could, for example, inject some JavaScript that will run on your session if you open up my link.
So JavaScript is always run on your computer. It's never on the server. Other coding languages will do the processing on your on their own server, and then show you the result. JavaScript always runs on your computer.
Actually, I think the SQL injection versus the cross-site scripting is a perfect example, because SQL injection is always server-side, because the database you're querying is running on the server. So you're manipulating something on the server itself. Cross-site scripting runs in your browser screen locally on your computer and is run client-side.
Yes.
Wow, cool.
We're
So
explaining a lot. I
yeah,
like it.
indeed. But yeah, basically what you're doing is you're injecting pieces of code. Therefore, SQL injection and cross-site scripting could have been JavaScript injection, but whatever. We don't choose the names nor acronyms. Speaking about acronyms, have you ever heard about an SBOM?
Well, it's probably not the SBOM you are talking about, but
Please don't. So I'll pick in here.
I was talking about sake bombs. I don't know what you were talking about.
So SBOM in IT security means software bill of materials, and it's something I think is very needed nowadays and should be made mandatory for software developers and well, application developers. We need to know what is inside of the software. We were talking about dependencies before. We want to know what all the dependencies are and how is the software intertwined with other pieces of software.
So it's a library of your libraries.
Basically, yes. It means the software bill of materials. And I think the perfect comparison to make with everyday's life is the labels that you have on food in the supermarket. It always says how much of which ingredients are in there, what are some allergenic food stuff that can be in there, and it always says also which vitamins. I mean, everything is on there percentage wise, and it needs to be on the label, otherwise this product cannot be sold in the store.
And then you have your analysis tool for the security thing that will give you your healthy score if it's an A, B, C, D, E.
Indeed. And let's say if tomorrow a new vulnerability gets found in one of the core libraries that is widespread used over all kinds of software, the softwares that have this SBOM available will be directly notified that, hey, in this software library we have found a vulnerability, you need to patch it immediately if it's used, or delete the lines if it's not used, whatever, but you will know what to do immediately. And this is something that nowadays not a lot of softwares have this yet, and I think it's a fundamental thing.
I feel it's a double-edged sword, because you say, yeah, if you make it publicly available what is in your software, but then you also hackers know which libraries are widely spread use, and they can go and find a way to get involved with that library.
That's true, but I think
as a girl, try to get close to the developer who is like the
Are you getting the hacker today? Being the hacker today?
Social engineering. That's also a part. Maybe that's another episode. Social engineering.
Yeah, could be. Might be interesting too. But I get what you're saying, but well, my opinion on this is that openness will get us further more quickly in the security maturity. If we keep people in the dark and be obscure about it, hackers will find it. They will find a big software vendor that is widely used over the world. They will dig deep into this software, reverse engineer what is being used, and then they will target the library either way.
So you feel if everybody is open and everything is out there, there will be no reason to go and look for the pieces in the dark.
That's exactly what I mean. Yeah,
okay.
That might be. I mean, I believe the SBOM thing is very fundamentally for software security, and it will stop a lot of.
But I can see how it's polarizing in the space.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you might be right, but still, I think the same thing with ethical hacking, open source, offensive security tools. It enables script kiddies to do bad, but it also enables security professionals that want to do good to show impact and make sure that things are getting patched. Because if it's in the dark and you as a smaller company are not really targeted by nation state attackers, you will never be on the forefront of those hacker activities, and you will always be like, oh, we don't need to update our Fortinet VPN because who the hell is gonna hack our company? You see where I'm going, right?
Yes, and it's a very interesting part, right? Like, if it doesn't touch you, do you need to take action?
I believe yes. Maybe 10 years ago it wasn't the case. Maybe 5 years ago it was a meaningful conversation. I think today, not at all. Because attackers are so fast and so adaptive to the new vulnerabilities that are found. And they have all built their frameworks and world scanners now to find the vulnerable instances. And they are just hacking on mass scale.
There is literally a real live example for this, not Petya.
Not Petya.
It was a targeted attack on a power plant in Ukraine, if I'm not mistaken, and it took over the entire world.
We already discussed it. Wait, which year was it again, not Petya?
No, not gonna burn myself on that one again.
2015? I'm gonna look it up right now, but please explain.
No. If you want to see this, it's in a previous episode. The year that I'm saying is completely off.
2017. 2017, indeed. Yeah, because this was the malware that brought down masks for a few weeks.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that was super cool.
So, from a security perspective, not from a life perspective.
Of course.
Saying that COVID is cool from a German... the guys that do like viruses and stuff, but not from a human perspective.
and not computer viruses. But yeah, indeed. So, static code analysis. What if we got the low hanging fruit in your lines of code? It will check for some OWASP vulnerabilities. Now I need to explain OWASP. God damn it!
Exactly. You walked straight into that one.
And
it has nothing to do with wasps or bees. He's not an is it imker in English as well? I don't know.
Nope, indeed.
A bee holder.
It's your damn it, I don't know what it stands for anymore. I'm drawing a total blank here. But something with web vulnerabilities and the most used attacking techniques to exploit web applications.
It's the top 10 of the most used web application vulnerabilities.
Web application security program, open web application security program. Maybe that could be something.
That 10% is already hitting.
Yes, indeed. But you have lots of OWASP projects now. It started with web application vulnerabilities, but you also have OWASP for APIs. You now have OWASP for AI projects, but let's dive deeper into that later. I actually wanted to move to the next layer of software security techniques.
Okay. I have a question still about the static one.
Let's hear it.
Just for information, and then now we've been keeping it quite basic. But which kind of tooling would you like? Example from tooling.
Nice question. Something practical for the listeners. Yes. I myself am a very big fan of SNYK. SNYK is written SNYK, so now you know. It's the abbreviation for so now you know. Yet another abbreviation in our community. No, nobody knows, but I've been in a few meetings with those guys. I'm using it myself for my personal projects, and it's
I know we use it
awesome.
as a company for a little bit as well.
Like
trial stuff.
We are freewheeling it, so please don't tell anyone at SNYK. But yeah, we have a trial running, but it's been running now for 2 years, I guess. And to be honest, I really want to invest in the product, but we don't really have the resources to take action on it immediately. So we first need to set the basics right.
And the GitHub also has their own offering for the enterprise level clients.
Yes, but now we are using the basic stuff from GitHub, which is Dependabot, and it is checking all the dependencies of your code and checking whether vulnerabilities were found in certain dependencies, and then creating pull requests that you can just auto fix with one click on yes, please merge.
I know from the infrastructure team there has been a meeting between GitHub and our GitHub owner.
Yeah, I'm invited in that one. He called me.
Okay, you were invited.
I should be invited, but by
the
my
meeting already happened.
so I was not invited. Okay, cool. I will have a talk with the guy tomorrow.
But it's okay. We have 2 weeks of leeway, because that's also why we are recording this episode kind of early. Because I'm in Istanbul from tomorrow onwards, and you are in the nice, beautiful Malaysia for 2 weeks.
Yes, I leave on Saturday. Indeed.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to the beer in Malaysia. I'm gonna be able to top a lot. Yeah, it will not be the quality of this Duvel Imperial Blond though, but
I had some Thai beer yesterday, which was a little bit disappointing. But hey,
it always is with beer from abroad. But
I wouldn't say that. We're still looking for recommendations.
True. Please
beer
prove me wrong.
Beer from abroad. I can see a beer from abroad standing here, but that will be for later.
Okay, so tooling. Anyone who is doing some personal projects on GitHub, just creating some pieces of code, some scripts, some small frameworks for fun and putting it to GitHub, please just go to Snyk, create an account, make it scan your public repositories, and it will do some static code analysis. It will tell you whether your code is vulnerable to the OWASP top 10. It will tell you whether your dependencies are vulnerable, and it will literally create a pull request. It will literally just give you the one fix button and your code is fixed, and it's so awesome, it's so fast. And this is a very basic thing. This is free to use for personal projects. If you do it for an enterprise, you can do it for free with the trial license, but I don't recommend doing that for a long time. But that's super cool.
Okay.
So next thing, after you have gotten your static code analysis done, all your vulnerabilities are gone, your dependencies are known, you have your SBOM, those dependencies and their versions are safe, and when they are vulnerable, you patch them automatically. What's the next thing you do?
Retire.
I wish it was that simple, because then Snyk would have solved a whole lot of problems here. Now the next thing you do is you have static and you have...
Snyk is not a sponsor of this podcast.
Nope, not at all. Maybe I should tell some other tools. I know a Belgian company doing the same thing. It's called Aikido. I think I already mentioned Aikido.
It's martial arts, huh?
No. So, static code analysis. Next thing, dynamic code analysis.
Ooh.
What's the difference here? With static code analysis, your engine is just going over the lines of code, checking for vulnerabilities from your static code. Dynamic, runtime, your code is being run, your software is running, and you are testing in a live environment. You can really just send requests to the web application and check if you did stuff wrong. Sorry, I hit my mic.
All good.
I'm sorry, Mike. Okay, so runtime testing. This is something more difficult. I think nowadays you will have some AI projects doing this. Cool stuff. I don't know any of it yet. But we both have used a few tools to do runtime analysis on code, doing Hack the Box. Could you guess which one it is?
Hydra?
Hydra is, could be called runtime analysis tool. It's doing brute forcing on your web application. You want to explain?
No.
Okay, so let's say, actually a good example is Mr. Robot. He showcased Hydra on the show Mr. Robot, I think in season 1 episode, one of the first ones, when he was hacking in Tyrell Wellick's account. Was it Wellick's? Hydra is a username and password brute forcing tool. You give it the URL of the web application you want to log into, you give him the username, you give it a list of passwords, and it will just send requests 100 at a time. And if you find the right one, if you have guessed the password, if it was present in your list, in your word list, it will lock you in, which is nowadays a bit outdated because you have MFA and you have rate limiting on a lot of websites. You have brute force protection, which is kicking you out when you try too many requests at the same time. But yeah, that's a tool. But I wouldn't say this is the tool I was referring to. It was more a sort of proxy tool.
I know which one you're talking about.
All right, shoot. Damn it, am I putting you on the spot here?
No, you're not. And
it's
Burp
been
Suite.
Burp Suite.
Wow.
It is indeed. Burp Suite is a beautiful tool. It lets you proxy all your web requests that you're doing to a certain website to see what is really in the packet in your HTTP body, and it lets you fiddle with it. It lets you manipulate it. It lets you change certain parameters or values to make you crash the web application. For example, again, a login screen. When you, as a normal user, you want to log into a web application, you send the username and the password to the login page. So you will see in Burp Suite HTTP request. It's a post request because you're posting data to the login page, and in the body of your request will be username, double point, the username itself, password, double point, and the password of the user. If the combination is right, you are logged in. So what you can do with Burp Suite is, well, first of all, just put a word list on the value of the password field and brute force your way into it. This is what Hydra does. But you can also just change the name of the parameter. Instead of username, maybe user double point, and see whether the web application crashes. Or maybe inject a hidden parameter, is admin equals true, and maybe you're logged in as an admin. And this is all done through, well, in this case, Burp Suite, the proxy runtime analysis, dynamic code analysis.
Yeah, so what Burp Suite actually does is like when you have your login screen and when you press the button login, it fires off a request. And you catch that request mid-flight. So it's basically like you have an airplane you catch, and you leave at point A, and you catch it mid-flight, and in the middle of the flight you change some data. You change your seat number, so you have like you move from economy to business class, you know,
for example.
You upgrade yourself, and then when you arrive, all of a sudden you're the cool guy that comes out of business class, you know, and you started as the guy that went into economy. So you stop it mid-flight, you change the data to have a nice view. If you have some background noise, it's Pieter unlocking his tablet.
Yeah, I think already the fourth or fifth time this episode.
He made notes, ladies and gentlemen. He's very, very prepared.
I wanted to be prepared this episode. Because I think this is a very interesting topic.
Yes, very much.
And in my opinion, if we would get this right, we would have a lot less vulnerabilities in the wild, and hackers would be able to do a lot less impact to the world.
Are you now like shaming all the coders that they are not doing their job properly?
No, I am trying to educate them to do their job better. Because maybe you are a developer, maybe you are a manager for a developer team, and maybe you don't know all these things. And you're asking yourself, how can I get my software more secure? Well, I hope that this episode will give them an answer or help them to do better.
So security is feeling entitled to mess with people.
Well, security awareness is not only about making sure end users don't click on links in emails, but it's also making sure that we maintainers of the IT world are doing our job properly and using the newest and greatest tools available to us. So, dynamic code analysis. Anything else you wanted to ask or explain?
I'm thinking, so it's more about trying to break the program in a sense,
Yes.
like making unwanted behavior.
Yes.
Is this something that is more used by a team of testers? Because when you are talking about static code analysis, you're thinking about the developers, making sure that their code is not having any vulnerabilities in there.
Yeah.
Now we're talking in runtime, so that I'm thinking like from a business perspective, this would be like testers that try to break
the
the code.
They are, I think that software
maybe that's
testers,
more functional.
yeah, that's more functional. That's more the human form of doing unit testing. And I mean, unit testing is something that the community has already known for a long time. Like, I think the first example that we learned in high school or college, I don't remember which one it was anymore, was when you build a calculator program, make sure that your end user is not dividing by 0 because your program will crash. And when you do unit testing, you will hopefully put that in your tests. You will see that the application has crashed, and you will write a try and catch error statement for that. You will implement some error handling, but that's more about functionality testing, in my opinion. It's not really security testing.
No, when you go to security testing, it's about running that OWASP, so the 10 most vulnerable things against it, see if it gets any results.
Yes.
Maybe even some more things. It's more, that's where the pen testing exercise.
Actually, yes. And I like that you bring it on, because indeed, and a pen test is a really good way to go beyond the static and dynamic code analysis, but really let a human or a team of humans look into the code and also test the logic of the code.
Okay, so that's not under dynamic testing?
No, because dynamic testing also touches a lot upon the OWASP top 10, I guess, and it goes hunting for the well-known vulnerabilities, but sometimes it's just behavior that the machines don't think about, to put it this way, and that a human can easily see with just logic. Like, now I'm trying to think of a good example.
Let me try to explain this. So dynamic is more check the box. Like, there is this list of OWASP vulnerabilities. I check the box if it's there. If it's not there, I check the box. If it's there, I will give you a message like, hey, you need to fix this. Where a pen test is more the hacker mindset that gets put into play and thinking outside the box, and that's exactly what a machine cannot do, because they have a certain boundary to play in.
Yes.
And you could say like, no, because AI, but even AI has boundaries, guys. That's
very true.
And if not, we will all be controlled by robots in the next 5 to 10. No, just kidding.
But you might not be. I have a few fun examples to tell you, but let's hope that we humans have the upper hand for the next 5 to 10 years still. Huh?
Okay.
But I like your mentioning the pen testing, because a pen test is very valuable for a web application. It goes beyond everything that we said already, and usually they try to go deeper in your web application. Let's say they find an SQL vulnerability, SQL injection. They can manipulate your database. Cool, but what is actually the impact of being able to manipulate a database? Are there passwords stored? Is it stored in plain text or with an easy crackable hashing algorithm? Can they move laterally into your environment? Can they do privilege escalation? Can they get onto your domain controllers and dump the whole thing from there? That's something that your dynamic code analysis will never do. They will find your low-hanging fruit in some cases, but they will never go deeper and see what is the actual impact of this.
Yeah, they will never see the relation between...
Exactly. and the tool is not built for that. But if as a manager of a team and someone tells you, our code is vulnerable to SQL injection, and the manager says, so what?
To bring it back to the example of the book library list. If you have a library list and you have an SQL injection in the code, and that SQL injection, the only thing they can reach is I don't know, some stupid information like when the library was founded, like just your information about that. Like, it's vulnerable? Yes. Is the information that they get out of it valuable? No, because a Google search, if you go like, hey, this library, when is it founded, you will also find it,
For example, is there PII in the database present or not? Because that will impact the outcome. PII, personal identifiable information.
Oh, now we're going to DLP.
Yeah, but this is valuable information to know, and it's something that the dynamic code analysis tool will never tell you.
So PII is a credit card number or social security number,
yes,
ID number, this kind of things.
So, but a pen test is cute, but it's a snapshot. It's a point-in-time evaluation. It's a one-time shot, and it will tell you you're vulnerable to this. You will try to fix it. Maybe the pen testing team or the firm that you pointed to or acquired to do the pen test will evaluate the fix you implemented, but that's it. We can go one level deeper. I see you still have a question.
No, I was actually gonna off you to the next topic, but you're going there yourself.
Go.
But you have a pen test, right?
Uh-huh.
But you also have programs that a vendor can write out. It's like a competition, maybe? Yeah, you see that as a competition?
It is kind of gamified nowadays, but it helps. It helps.
Yeah, and there's quite some money on the line. You can earn people make a living out of it.
Well, I think there are already now more than 10, but still less than 20 millionaires from this field. But yeah. So
it's about searching bugs and not the insect kind in code.
Yeah.
So if you can find the vulnerability, vulnerability in that code, in that program. And depending on the severity, the owner or the developer of the code will give you a sum of money to disclose your findings. And it's called
a bounty.
Nice.
So bug bounties. And this is, I think, on the scale of maturity in software development lifecycle, this is probably the highest level you can get. You also don't want to go into bug bounties as a software development team before you have gotten all the other checks in place.
It's gonna get expensive.
You are gonna waste your money. You have no idea, because these hackers, these bug bounty hunters, as we call them, they have scripts ready to check for dependencies, to do the static code analysis. They immediately clone your software, run it at home to do some dynamic runtime testing or the dynamic code analysis or runtime testing. I got them mixed up, sorry. They will go to your website, use Burp Suite to proxy all the requests to see what's there. They will manipulate everything they see, and they will throw all their expertise into it to find the vulnerabilities. Because, as you said, Nick, it is a gamified space. You have leaderboards, you get bounties, you get rewards. Some people has made their living out of doing bug bounty hunting. And this is something, if everything else is in place, you will want it. Why? It's the next level. These people think outside of the box. When they go next level.
The bounty hunters, the first thing that popped into my mind was Dog the Bounty Hunter. I need to Google the
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
You've never seen the show?
No, but who was on there? Namansek, Frederick.
It's really like the mullet kind of guy, like, but it's about bounty hunters.
What is it's a TV show?
Yeah, it's a TV show. Okay. Yeah.
I was talking real bounty hunters.
It's Dwayne Chapman.
Nice. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
So this is the end game.
Yeah.
If you are able to get there with your software development team, you're on a good track here.
Yeah. But you don't start it until you know your maturity is well enough, because otherwise you will lose a lot of money.
Yeah, indeed, because you don't have just one firm looking at your application in one time. No, you have hundreds, if not thousands of people looking at your web application all the time. They have automated scripts. If you, for example, by accident do a change in production and you leave your environment in debug mode, it will be noticed by bug bounty hunters within 10 minutes. You want these default basic checks already there in your pipeline, your CI/CD pipeline, before it even gets pushed to production, because you don't want these vulnerabilities out there anymore.
Yeah, now you touched on CI/CD.
CI/CD, damn, this feels like a test. Continuous improvement and continuous development.
Nice.
Ooh, and it's something easy to set up within...
it's straight into the topic.
Within GitHub.
This is your software development lifecycle.
Yes, it's like when you're developing on a product, you create a separate branch in GitHub. You push your new code on this branch. You finished your one feature that you needed to develop, or your one new capability you're introducing in the product. You click on merge this to main. Before it gets merged, you have a few rules that needs to complete. It will run snick on your code. If snick found vulnerabilities, it will just cancel your merging process, and it will say please try again. When that is done, it will do some other checks, some unit testing, all the security checks are being done. It will then be pushed into hopefully testing or accepting environment in your company or enterprise environment, where you will have in-house code testing, the dynamic code analysis, your the tools running on there, and then when everything is be found safe and secure and performant, because that's also important, only then it will be pushed to production, and only then the bug bounty hunters will be able to test it. Voila. And I think once you've gotten there, perfect. Like, for example, the CrowdStrike update would have never destroyed the whole world for a day, because these security testings would have done in testing environment, maybe. Just maybe.
That is a really sorry,
CrowdStrike.
statement. Yeah, that's it. Don't cancel us.
Okay, and then one last thing that I wanted to just mention today. Yes, here is the sound again, because I had written it down. But there has been named a new type of, how should I say it, supply chain attacks, dependency hijacking, all that type of stuff, where you find a library widely used to hack the whole world. With vibe coding, people are not writing their own code anymore, but it is AI writing code. And we all know that AI is able to hallucinate a lot.
We have mentioned it in the podcast.
We have. My news website is still online, by the way, for the people who want to see an AI hallucinate every day again and again. But AI is also hallucinating libraries, import statements in code, and especially when you try to create React code and it works on npm libraries, which please don't ask me what it is, because I will not be able to tell you that abbreviation unless you do. Okay. So
let me ask ChatGPT. Huh?
Yeah, please do. But the hacking technique is called slop squatting. I don't know why this name, but slop squatting means hackers will try to find libraries that were hallucinated by LLMs, softwares that are published, and then they will just create the dependency themselves, publish it to the NPM library, and write their own malware in it. Genius. I like it. That's super cool.
So yeah, basically like it's if you want to create a car and like you're putting together the car and I say like I'm the manufacturer, but I'm like I don't know what I'm saying. So I say like, yeah, you need a Maffelicious Pigfidocus, whatever, no, what's the word? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and
for example.
It doesn't actually exist, but I'm a malicious actor and I'm like, I will create that element and I will put it into your car, but what will it actually do? Like once you're driving, once you meet a certain kilometrage, it will explode your car.
For example. And you're not even telling the customer you're creating it. You're just telling him, I'm the seller of this product.
Yeah.
Here you go.
You can have it for free.
Yeah. Genius. So that's a cool technique that I wanted to tell here on the podcast.
So yeah, again, we are careful with AI.
Mm-hmm.
Always say thank you. Don't.
I think this was about my rant about software development lifecycle and the security about it.
I see. If you need to give me a rundown, like what did we cover and what is important for our listeners to remember for today?
Well, software security is essential. It will solve a lot of fundamental problems in the space. We have covered the static code analysis, dynamic code analysis, bug bounties, the continuous testing with the CI/CD integrations, and then some cool vibe coding attacking techniques.
Nice. And then for the beer, we had the Duvel Imperial Blond, the Brewmaster's selection. It's still available in stores in Belgium, or if you are not from Belgium, you will probably find it online and get it imported. If not, I'm sorry, but it's a really good beer.
You will
Softer than a regular Duvel.
You will have to come to Belgium this year and drink it yourself.
Plan your visit. If you're in the area, let us know. We will gladly have another one with you. Duvel stories. I have a couple.
Yes, please. Let's round up with the Duvel story.
Do you have some, actually?
No
Duvel stories.
I probably have, but I'm not sure whether it's a Duvel story, a La Chouffe story, or a Sangria story. So let's just go to yours.
Okay, so I really like Duvel. It's my go-to beer, actually, when I want a heavier beer and I'm at a bar. And there is no special, it's one of the staple beers. As I already said, Moordgat is a corner store brewery in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
It will always be on the menu, no matter where you go. Even when you're abroad, I think Stella and Duvel, if you talk about Hoegaarden, if you go abroad, those are the three beers you will definitely find somewhere.
True, I think you can find Duvel everywhere in the world.
Exactly. Together
with Heineken.
We were talking about beer here.
Yeah. And I made some harsh statements about beer. Huh?
No, you made it about technology. That's different.
Nice one. Yeah.
My Duvel stories. It actually started when I was just drinking age,
16.
No, I will be older. I think I was 18, 19. So we used to go to a bar in my hometown, and there the Duvel was very, very cheap. And because it was an easy way to get drunk, we would get it with my friends and then get a straw, because when you have a straw, it's more concentrated to get drunk faster. So that were some from nights. And then when I was older, actually, one of my ex-girlfriends, who is not a Belgian, she came from abroad, and we went out drinking, and then we had some Cornet, which is also a heavier blonde beer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up the night at my place drinking Duvel. And she actually got, she was like, yeah, I can drink one Duvel after another out of the bottle because I didn't have any glasses. Because
Nice.
I just moved. And she ended up on the toilet puking her
soul out.
Yes, very very much so. So I had to like take care of her the next day. I other Duvel stories. I had my experiences with the 666, though it's a lighter one because it's only 6.6%.
Obviously.
It even when you compound it, it's dangerous. So guys, be very aware. But in general, like Duvel itself, it never tastes bad in my opinion. If you like some heavier beer and you don't know where to start, this is the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Duvel is a very safe choice always.
Yeah. But maybe if you don't like bitter beers, if you like the fruity beer, start with an IPA. But if you like a regular, like more bitter beer, heavier beer, go with a Duvel. That's my ending note of the podcast. That's my final say. Because the tech I could not say anything about, but Duvel I can talk about. So.
You could say quite a lot about the tech. Don't shoot yourself short here.
No. But you were the tech guy today. So, closing down. We're having a shorter one this time. Only 70 minutes.
We're finally almost within time again. We started out with we want to have a 60-minute episode. That worked out until I think episode 6 or 7.
And from there we just... too much fun.
Yeah, indeed.
And I've been having a lot of reactions of people really liking the podcast and really liking the content that we bring. So I'm really happy with it. It's been 10 months. It's been really, really a fun 10 months. And I'm looking forward to having the next one. We are kind of looking into something for the next one, but we still need to finalize. Maybe it will be just two of us. Maybe it will be some more. We need to make those plans still, but we are really bad at plans because we also wanted a guest for this one, which did not happen.
Lol, I didn't even think of that anymore. But the next one, if we could bring some guests, would be super cool. I had some conversations about it, some brainstorming about how we could do it, and I have some cool ideas. I just hope that the rest is in for it as well.
Let's talk about this after we close down the podcast.
Yes, indeed.
So this was our 10th episode. We had a good beer. We had some talk about
cool tech
development stuff. Not my wheelhouse, Pieter's wheelhouse a little bit.
Honestly, also not really my thing, because I used to say that I really don't like developers in the IT space because, in my opinion, they often don't know a lot about... I'm not going to finish my sentence here, but those who know knows.
I wanted to be a developer in the beginning of my years.
I always hated development and then always building those constructors, making those import statements, declaring your variables. Nope. Oh well.
And that's why we ended up where we are, and that's why we are making these podcast episodes.
Indeed. Okay. I hope it was thoughtful for everyone. No. No.
I thought it was a good lesson for some people. I thought people
That's a better word for it,
learned something from it. And we will be here next time for the 11th episode, which might not be as technical if we get some people on. But
hopefully...
nonetheless, it will be good.
And fun.
Yes. So until next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.